In this video, you're going to learn how to scale an online course business to $50,000 a month in revenue. So after working with dozens of different online course creators, coaches, consultants, while I had my digital marketing and Facebook advertising agency, I got a really good understanding of what the most successful people were doing when it comes to marketing and selling their online course versus those who tend to struggle. And so what I'm going to do in this video for you is walk you through the 7 key differentiators and the 7 key tactics that they apply that others don't. And these are the big needle movers. If you apply these things to your business, it's really going to help you accelerate your growth to that $50,000 a month mark. So what this is a behind the scenes look at what the most successful online course creators do and how they really do it so that you can apply it for yourself. Alright, so number 1, and this might sound obvious, but it's really important and we need to cover it, so I'm going to cover this one first before we get into the really juicy stuff. And number 1 is that you really need to have a great product. Now, when I say great product, here's what you need to understand and what differentiates the top course creators from the rest when it comes to creating a great product. It is that they understand that a great product is not the one that is the most polished, meaning it's got 4K video and a professional studio and all of these other bells and whistles. And it also doesn't mean it has the most volume, meaning hours and hours and hours of content and worksheets and workbooks and quizzes and assessments. That's not what makes a great online course. What makes a great online course is that it delivers on what's promised and it gets students results, right? So that's what you need to really understand, and you need to get that mindset and form that mindset of how can I create a course that delivers on exactly what I've promised. It gets students really, really great results and what they're expecting, and in the shortest amount of time. So you want to make it short, concise, get them the result they want and teach them what they need to know to get to where they want to be. Okay, so that's the first thing. Your course needs to deliver great results. And the way to do that is to create a mindset and to create systems where you're always focused on constant improvement. So always talking to your students, looking at how they're going through the course, what kind of results they're getting, where they're getting stuck, figuring out what you need to improve within the course, within your program to make it better and to get better results for your students, and then consistently iterating on the program and implementing those things that you're learning. If you create a culture and if you create a mindset based around continually improving your product, then it's going to get better and better over time, and eventually you will have that really, really fantastic product that actually starts to sell itself because your students will start recommending it and referring you to other people. Okay, moving on to number 2 now, and we're getting into the good stuff because we're starting to talk about how to actually generate more revenue with your online course. And one of the quickest, easiest ways to do that, and every successful online course creator out there pretty much is doing this, and that is adding an upsell to your checkout process. So one of the easiest examples I can give you here is McDonald's. If you've ever been to McDonald's, and I can't remember the last time I went to McDonald's, but I have been there before and I've heard them say this. You go up to the counter, you ask for, let's say, a burger, and one of the first things they say to you is, would you like fries with that for $1 extra? And you say, sure, add it in. And they go and add fries. That's an upsell. So you're buying a product, in this case the burger, and they're upselling you to the fries as well, or maybe a combo, so fries and a drink. Okay, that's an upsell. And the same concept can be applied to your online course business. So people purchase your online course, and as they go through the checkout, you say to them, hey, would you like to add on this extra thing for X price? A certain percentage of people are going to buy that. Now, based on my experience, that's anywhere between 30 and 40% of your customers will purchase the upsell if you do it right. And I'm going to talk about that shortly in terms of how to create a good upsell. So if you create a good upsell, 30 to 40% of your customers are going to click yes, and they're going to add that to their purchase. Now you can see by having that upsell, that's instantly going to bump your revenue. All right, now I'm going to walk you through a quick example. So let's say you have a $1,000 course and you sell 10 of those courses. You have no upsell, it's just the $1,000 course. So you sell 10 courses and generate $10,000 in revenue. Now in this case, that's it. That's your total revenue, $10,000. Now let's imagine you add a $400 upsell to your checkout process. So you sell those 10 courses, and we'll say that 30% of people are going to buy your upsell, meaning that from those 10 sales, you're going to get 3 new customers who buy the upsell as well. That now takes your total revenue. Instead of $10,000, you're now making $11,200 on that sale because you've got 3 upsells at $400 each, meaning you're making an extra $1,200 in revenue simply by adding an upsell to your checkout. So that's a huge bump in revenue over time just by adding this upsell, and it's no extra work from you apart from actually creating the upsell in the first place. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I create a good upsell? How do I decide how I price it? This is how you do it. Your upsell needs to be something that either saves the person time or saves them money. So think about how you can add an upsell in that's going to save your customers time, meaning they can get the result even quicker by purchasing the upsell, or it saves them money. Let's use my course, for example. I've got a course on Facebook advertising. If I was selling my course, people were buying it to learn how to run successful and profitable Facebook ad campaigns for their business. Well, I might add in an upsell where they get a huge pack of graphic templates that they can use for their ads. Now, that's a good upsell because it's going to save them time and money. So instead of having to hire a graphic designer to design all of their new Facebook ads that I tell them to create as part of the course, they've got this template pack that they can simply swap out graphics with, make easy changes, and have beautifully designed graphics for their Facebook ads. So it's easy for that customer to justify the small additional cost to buy that template pack because they can see straight away that, well, I'm not going to have to hire a designer. These templates are professionally designed, so they're going to be way better than what I can create. Boom, I'll add that to the cart and check out. Now, what you don't want to do is create an upsell that sells them more of the same. So let's say that I am selling a course on Facebook ads and I have an upsell that teaches them how to create better Facebook ads or how to create a great video ad. Well, their itch to create better Facebook ads or to create profitable Facebook campaigns has just been scratched because they've bought the course. So they're thinking, well, the course has got everything I need to create really successful Facebook ad campaigns. So why do I need an upsell on how to create video ads when that's sort of already included in the course? So it's more of the same. No one's going to buy that because their problem's already been solved for them in that main course. They don't need the extra add-on. So you want to make sure that you're not just selling more of the same. It's got to be something that helps them do things faster or saves them time. Now, when it comes to pricing your upsell, generally you want to price your upsell at between 30 and 50% of the total cost of your main offer. So in this case, a $1,000 course, you could sell your upsell for $300 to $500, okay? Because that's 30 to 50% of the price of the main course. All right, so adding an upsell, what that's going to do, it's going to increase the average order value from each of your customers. So if we use that same example, if you have a $1,000 course and that's it, then the average order value is going to be $1,000 because every customer is going to spend $1,000 and that's it. If you add in your upsell for, let's say, $400 in this example, and it has a 30% uptake rate, then straight away your average order value increases just by having some of your customers buying that upsell. So it means that for every order you get, you actually get more money in your pocket. That moves us to number 3. And again, this is another one that simply adds more revenue to your bottom line with minimal extra work. And that is adding a downsell offer to increase your average revenue per lead. Meaning that by adding this downsell, for every lead you bring into your business, you're now going to generate more revenue. And that's great, especially if you're buying leads through paid advertising. For every lead coming in the door, you want to be making as much revenue as possible so that you can be profitable on your ads. So a downsell offer, what is it? A downsell offer is basically an offer that you make to everybody who doesn't buy your main offer. So they come into your sales funnel, you offer them your main course or program, in this case, like I said, a $1,000 course, but we know from experience that only 3 to 5% of those leads that come into your email list are actually going to buy your main offer. So you've got 95 to 97% of those leads coming in who aren't going to buy that offer. So what do? Most people who don't have a downsell are just leaving money on the table because that's it. They're offering them something, they're not buying, and then they're like, nah, okay, That's fine. And they're never really following up with that or offering them anything different. A downsell offer helps you change that, and it allows you to still sell to those 95 to 97% of people. Basically what we do is after they go through the main sales process, if they don't buy the main offer, we offer them a smaller, different product instead. So the thinking behind this is that the reason people don't buy the main offer is usually because they're not ready or they don't have the funds. The best way to find out is to survey your users. Find out why they're not buying the main offer. And then your downsell offer should be something that bridges that gap for them, that helps them get ready to buy your main offer. Because what we want to do is sell them a downsell offer that actually helps them, okay, and gets them to that next step. And then when they're ready, they might even buy our main offer and our big course, okay? So again, it comes from a mindset of actually, this person isn't ready for the main course, but how can I help them now? It comes from a mindset of still trying to help the customer or the client. So you want to say, they're not ready yet. What can I do to help get them ready? Using that customer feedback can really help you understand why they feel like they're not ready or what they need to do in order to get ready to buy your main course. So you come up with a downsell offer. Again, it's priced around 30 to 40% of your main offer. And it's something that bridges that gap. So let's say, for example, I'm selling a course on Facebook ads and how to run profitable Facebook ad campaigns for your online course business. That's just using my own sort of company as an example. And somebody doesn't buy it. Well, maybe it's because they don't have a sales funnel in place that is ready to run Facebook ads. They don't feel like their sales system is good enough to be spending money on ads yet. Well, I could have a downsell offer that teaches them how to set up and optimize and prepare a sales funnel in order to run Facebook ads. So they can get set up, they can get their funnel in place if they purchase that downsell, get it all optimized, and then when they're ready, they might go, all right, now I'm ready to pour fuel on this fire with Facebook ads and I'm going to buy the main course, okay? So a downsell offer simply plugs into the back. They go through your sales funnel. If they don't buy the main offer, then you send them another email sequence that sells them your downsell. Okay, so now let's go back to our example. Pretend we've got a $1,000 course and look at what happens if we add in a downsell. So let's say you've got your $1,000 program and you're generating 200 leads per month. Of those 200 leads every month, 5% of them are converting into sales of your main program. So that would be 10 sales per month. So you're generating $10,000 in revenue from that program and from those 200 leads every single month. Now, at the moment, that's just $10,000 in revenue and that's it. But the problem is we've got 190 leads coming in every month who aren't buying from us. So if we add in a downsell offer and market it to those 190 people who didn't buy, this is what it would look like. If you add in a $300 downsell offer and 5% of those 190 non-buyers go ahead and buy the downsell, then that's going to add an extra $2,700 in revenue just from adding a downsell. That's 27% increased revenue just from adding one downsell offer, taking you to $12,700 per month in sales just by adding a downsell. Combining that with the upsell that we talked about previously, and you can see you've got like a 30 to 40% increase in sales revenue just by adding these two things into your existing sales funnel. You haven't even needed to get any more leads yet. It's just gravy on top of what you're already generating with your existing traffic and with your existing leads from your online course. All right, so we've only covered 3 steps of the 7 so far, but you can already see how just adding in those previous 2 things can really help increase revenue that you're currently just leaving on the table, and it's relatively quick and easy to do. Once you plug it in, there's no extra work. It just increases your revenue every single month. Before we move on to step number 4, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. It tells me you love the video and it really helps the channel grow, so I massively appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the little bell to get notified whenever I release a new video. Now moving on to number 4, and that is meticulously collect testimonials and case studies from your students. That is one thing that I see the top course creators doing that most don't do. And the reason this is so important is because an unfortunate reality of our industry is that there are a bunch of courses out there that are fantastic and their creators are doing a wonderful job of helping their students, but there are some out there that honestly are just slapped together. They don't deliver on their promises. They're marketed really aggressively and it gives the whole industry a bad name. And so when consumers are looking to buy a course, they're trying to figure out which camp the course is in. Is this something that's really going to help me, or is this something that's just marketing hype and it's not going to deliver? And one of the easiest ways for your potential customers to determine if your course is the real deal is through customer testimonials and case studies. That's why it's really, really important to actually actively collect them, because there are going to be so many students, if you're doing a great job with your course, and I assume you are, who are getting good results, but they won't say anything. There's no reason for them to come back and say anything. They're just off running their business, getting great results, doing great things, and that's it. You need to ask. And so here's how you actually collect a lot more testimonials and case studies from your students. The first thing I recommend you do is create a culture of celebrating wins within your community. So if your course has an associated Facebook group or Slack channel or some kind of community that goes along with the course, you want to create a culture in there that really encourages people to celebrate their wins. So this could be as easy as starting a thread every week where people can celebrate their wins. So saying, Friday weekly wins, drop your successes for the week in this thread, and people will start to do that, and you can really encourage it and hype that up and build momentum around that, getting people to do it. A more advanced way to do this is to create different awards within your program or tiers where people get rewarded. They get badges or they get particular status within the program when they hit certain milestones. So for example, Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels has his 2 Club award. Okay, now this is a big plaque they give you with your name on it and a big gold record in the middle. It's called the 2 Club. And so what this is when you hit $1 million in sales using their software platform, you join the 2 Club, you get this plaque on the wall, they bring you up on stage and take a photo with you. And so this is something that really encourages their successful members to go and talk about and to try and achieve. So they want to go and achieve that award, get that status, get in front of their peers and show that they, made the 2 Club. And so of course with Russell, he can then use that in his marketing and he can get their stories, like talk to people who join the 2 Club, ask them to share their story as a case study, get testimonials from them. And it's a great way to sort of bring that forward. So regardless of what you think of Russell and ClickFunnels and everything else, that is a good example of how they encourage that culture of sharing wins and sharing achievements within the community. And then you can use that to start a conversation around getting a testimonial or a case study. But again, you have to ask. So you have to find who your successful students are, and then you have to ask them to provide a testimonial or a case study. Now, on the topic of asking, you need to also be able to make it really easy for them to provide feedback, testimonials, and case studies. So what I recommend doing is 2 things. Adding a survey at the end of the course. So when people have completed the course, add a survey. Ask them, did it meet your expectations? What did you get out of it? Did you hit your goals? Have you achieved the results that you're expecting to achieve? And just survey them. And this serves in 2 different ways. Yeah, you're going to identify your successful students, but you're also going to get that really valuable feedback that goes back to step 1 that we talked about, which is creating a great course. So you get that feedback, you can use it to improve, which makes your course better, which makes you get better student results, which flows through to more student testimonials, which then flows through to more referrals and people telling their friends about it and bringing in more business that way. So it's this big flywheel that gets created here. So create those surveys for the end of the course. And the other thing you can do is use a tool. So there are different tools out there, and I'll link to some below in the description, that allow you to really easily collect testimonials by sending a link. The person can click that link, record the video, it gets stored for you as a recording in an archive, and then you can just pull it out and put it on the website or the sales page or whatever. So there are really simple ways to actually collect testimonials as well and make it easy for your students to deliver them and send them to you. All right, now let's move on to number 5, which is another great way to increase revenue from your existing leads. It's simple to implement, but barely anyone does this, and it just leaves so much money on the table. So what it is adding a follow-up email sequence to promote your offer again to your leads in 1, 2, or 3 months down the track. So what usually happens is people are bringing new leads, new email subscribers into their sales funnel. They're promoting their course. 5% of them buy, 95% of them don't. If you've added an upsell, great. Some of them will buy the upsell. But again, you've got so many leads, like 90% of your leads who aren't buying, and most people just leave them on their email list, and that's kind of it. They get their weekly newsletter and that's it. What I recommend you do is set up an email sequence so that once somebody sees your main offer, if they don't buy, keep sending them value-packed emails for 1 to 2 months, and then put them back into a promotion sequence for your main offer again and start to promote and sell them your main offer again. And what you will find is a lot of those people who weren't ready to buy from you when they first went through the sales process, now that they've spent 1, 2, maybe even 3 months getting valuable content from you and understanding more about you and trusting you more, that they will go through the sequence the second time and they will actually buy your program from you that time, okay? And again, you can do it again 3 months after that or 6 months after that. But just because somebody doesn't buy the offer once doesn't mean they won't be ready to buy it in the future. And so what you need to do here is add that email sequence in. Just build it into your automated flows so that after somebody goes through your main email sequence, they get emails every week or maybe a couple of emails a week for 1, 2, or even 3 months, depending on what you're comfortable with, before going back into an automated sales sequence again to promote your core offer. Okay, really easy. And again, it's just maximizing the potential revenue that you're getting from the leads you're already bringing in. Okay, so there's money on the table there. The best course creators, those that cross that $50,000 a month mark, are making sure they do this, because generating leads is the hard part. Okay, you want to generate as much revenue from those leads as you can, and that's what this step helps let you do. All right, moving on to number 6 now, and I've saved one of the best ones till the end. This is a little bit more difficult to implement, but it also delivers one of the biggest rewards as well. And that is adding a live launch into your promotional calendar. So let's say once every year or even once every 6 months, depending on what you're comfortable with, instead of just having your evergreen sales funnel running all the time, you do a live launch as well. So this is where you do a live promotion, maybe a live video series or a live webinar, but you do a live promotion to your full audience, your full email list and all of your leads once every 6 to 12 months. And again, what this is doing is it's taking all of those leads that you brought into your evergreen funnel who didn't buy, and it's doing a live launch to promote to them every 6 to 12 months. And what that does is it brings in a ton of extra sales for you that you otherwise wouldn't have generated without the live launch. So just adding a live launch in, and you'll notice a lot of the really successful course creators also do live launches along with evergreen, because they understand just how powerful it can be. Something else, and a little extra nugget that I'm going to add in here, is with your live launches, offer your most successful students and your peers, offer to have them as affiliates as well. So what that can do is bring in hundreds or even thousands of new leads into your business every year from those affiliates that you can then continue to market and sell to down the line, as well as generating sales from your live launch. So it's a quick way to jump up to that $50,000 a month mark just by adding in a live launch every 6 to 12 months, and by capitalizing on those potential sales that you're currently missing out on from all those leads you're bringing in through your evergreen sales funnel. All right, that brings us to the final one here, number 7, and that is start running ads. So maybe a little bit biased here, but running my agency and running Facebook ads for so many different online course companies has taught me one thing, and that's that once you have all of those 6 steps that I just outlined implemented in your sales funnel, and you're increasing the average order value and you're increasing the average revenue per lead, and you've got things optimized, turning on ads is one of the quickest way to hit that $50,000 a month mark. And I actually recommend having your funnel really well optimized before starting ads, because what that does is it minimizes the risk. You get all of this stuff right, you're generating as much money as possible from your funnel because it's really optimized, and then you start running ads, and the chance of you not doing well with ads is much, much smaller. And also, as you scale your ads, they get more expensive, but you can afford those costs and still generate a really healthy profit margin because you've taken steps 1 to 6. So step number 7 is start running Facebook ads. If you want to learn more about getting started with Facebook ads, I've got a 7-step guide to help you improve your Facebook ads and increase your return on ad spend that I'll put a link down to below. So these are my 7 best tips for getting more out of your Facebook ads. So just find that in the description, click it, download it, and that'll help you get started with your Facebook ads as well. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, all I ask is that you tap that like button and give it a thumbs up. It really does help me grow the channel. It helps with the algorithm, and it's quick, easy, and free for you to do, so that's all I ask. If you want to hear more from me, make sure you click subscribe. Click that little bell and you'll get notified whenever I release a new video or when I go live on YouTube. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time. Hope these tips have helped you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Fluff and where did I go with that? I just started wandering. Why? Let's try again. I'm telling people they got to be short and to the point without being short and to the point. So let's try that again. All right, take 2 on the step number 1. Take 3 maybe. I don't know.